Oh boy, it's time for some American Truck Simulator. I'm a sucker for some of these simulator games, I must say. So, gotta do it. Gotta do some of it, right? I've played a bit of Euro Truck Simulator. Mm, it doesn't quite hit the same for me because I'm American, as you may know. And in America, things are not a little bit more tight than what I experienced in the European trucking scene. The docks and things that you need to get into are just a little bit rough. I'm having some issues with one of my links, though. Why are you not? There it goes. There it goes. Finally. Jeez. All right. Do that, like that, and then bring the game up. All right. So here we are. I'm in where am I? Steamboat Springs, I believe. Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Let's take a look at the map. We way over here. I've got a job currently. Well, I don't have a job, but I want to get a job. I'm currently running a flatbed, lowboy specifically. I'm gonna go over to pick up some. I believe there's a harvester. I want to say, if I can remember the buttons. It's been a minute since I played the game, so give me just a second as I fly through. Yeah, we're running a lowboy. We're gonna pick up some of the heavier loads. I'm not running overweight though. We're just gonna pick up some interesting loads. Mix it up a little bit. My camera is really sensitive. Holy crap! Look at that. That is so sensitive. Oh my god. Um, let's see. Let's see if we can figure it out. Steering sensitivity. Nope, that's not what I want. I want camera. Where's camera sensitivity? Ooh, they're gonna make it hard on me, aren't they? Oh boy. Camera, 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 camera. Look at all these settings. My God. Camera settings. Here we go. Steering camera rotation factor. Maybe that's it. Let's try that. Let's see if that does it. Oh my gosh. I don't know if that did it. That's still really bad. My God. It's like I gotta. What's he doing, man? How's he throwing his neck around that fast? Where was I? I was down here. Steering camera rotation factor. Interior camera horizon locking factor. Physical camera movement factor. Holy crap. Let's bring all of these down. I don't know which one it is. It's one of these. Let's see if that works. Is that slower? I don't think so. What's happening? This thing is lying to me, man. Is it talking about being outside? No, that's still super fast. Well, quick solution would be to simply not use it. Yeah, he does a lot of yoga. That would be one way to get it that fast. Well, it could be this one, I guess. Let's bring it down. See what happens. I don't think that's... Well, I'm just going to have to deal with it. Okay. We're just going to have to deal with it. Can't see when I'm coming out of this garage, so in true trucker fashion, we're going to start our journey off by cutting off all of the traffic. All the traffic. I'm just going to slowly inch out. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. Coming out. Coming out. This is, I believe we're picking up a... Oop. Those are my wipers. I hit wipers instead of blinker. Oh, making everything worse. Okay, let's get our camera up here. We're heading to the outskirts of Steamboat. We're picking up a combine harvester without the wheels. What they do is they will get in the harvester, drive this thing up onto the flatbed, and then they'll put some big wood blocks underneath it, and another guy will come along with the air gun, take the wheels off, strap her down. And that's the end of that. Haul it to the next area. Usually this is either buying or selling, transportation between dealerships. Sometimes farmers will do this. Generally not small farmers. It'll be the big farmers, the real big ones. The fields are too far away to drive the harvesters to. So they'll pay a guy to do it, but it's very expensive to pay a trucker to just drive over here. I don't believe the cost in the game is realistic, because I'm getting paid, I want to say it was $30,000 to run this load, which if you could make that much just running this load, my God, we'd all be truckers. We'd all be doing it. Uh-oh. My second screen has gone black. My second screen has gone black. What happened? What happened? There it is. Now it's back. Why'd you do that? Why did it do that? See, every time I stream, every single time, there's always these weird issues. I don't know what it is. Recording, fine. We can record in 4K, edit in 4K, render proxies. I can render the audio on 7 different tracks. But as soon as I click that stream button, everything goes wrong. I don't know why. I have no idea. I'll slow down. 35 through this town. I wonder, at some point in time, we're going to be like this, where tickets are automated, right? So in this game, when you roll up into a town and you speed, you'll just get slammed with tickets left and right. They'll give you no, you won't have a chance to try to get out of it, or, oh, everybody's going 35. No. In this game, the whole thing's automated. You bump a car, boom, $1,000 fine. Run a red, boom, $1,000 fine. Speed, it's all over. I do not play with a steering wheel. I'm playing with a controller. Same with Farming Simulator 22. DevSkull played with a wheel for a while, and when we were playing on the Farming Simulator server, he played with the wheel, really enjoyed it. The wheel just takes up a lot of real estate right on your desk, and I think it's a lot easier to just run with a controller. Right now I'm using a PlayStation 5 controller, but I've used like Xbox and stuff. Nice. I have never run a flatbed in real life, though. It was something I never got into because it was it's a lot of work. Tarping things down. Strapping's fine, but tarping is the part that sucks. That's a lot of effort. It's a lot of effort. Dirty work too, man. It's much easier to just run dry loads. Or even those guys that run tankers too. Play with a controller, yeah, it is. So I don't know what the buttons are called, but what is this? R2, L2? On the top there, the triggers. R2 is gas, and it's sensitive too. So if I only do like a little bit, I'll go a little bit faster. Same with the brakes L2, and then I've got wipers on D-pad, and I think lights are left. Yeah. Up changes the camera. If you're into simulator games, like I don't remember. Were you one of the ones that was into Farming Simulator 22? I'm super into Farming Simulator 22, so I can't remember all who was. In that game, you could control most everything with the controller. Same with this one, you know. Open up, please. I wish to come inside. I've never been to this particular place. This looks more like a dealer than an actual farmer, you know? So we gotta touch this green thing here to get our load. So we want cargo market because I've got my own trailer. And that's the one I'm after, the harvester. It's not the best paying, but it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. I like it. All right. Where the heck is it? Now I get to play the guessing game. My camera is so sensitive. It says it's up on the left. Looks like it's in the garage, maybe. Hey, speaking of Farming Simulator 22, right there, straight ahead, that's silage pit. Tarped and with tires. Right there by the looks. I'm not going to make that turn, though. I might. Let's try it. I might make a fool of myself. Remember, I am quite literally a professional driver. Because I do this. I do this all day, every day. So if I make a fool of myself in this game, I'm doing it on purpose. And it's not because I messed up. Okay. So we want lights on. Up. Let's take a look at this thing. Here it is. I mean, red, I would just simply assume it's case, but this looks like a just a basic brand, right? So they pulled the tires off of this thing. And as far as the detail goes, it doesn't look like... Yeah, it looks like they blocked it. They have it setting on some metal blocks. I've never seen that before, but I've seen just wood blocks. That seems a little unnecessary what they did, but maybe this is dealership. Could just be from dealership tactics here. Are my lights on? Why can I not tell if my lights are on? Yes, they are on. Okay. All right. Let's do this. So you have 367 miles to go. This is a very short load. That's a one-day haul. I like to averaging about 300, 400 miles a day. That was a comfortable day for me when I was driving. Sometimes they give you a little less than that, a little more than that, and that really sucked. You get stuck at a loader at a dock for 6 hours. You lose out on all your cash. Onwards and upwards. Farmer, are you still deep into... I see you've been playing a lot of Fallout 4. How's that going? I've been playing a lot of 76. A lot of Fallout 76. Actually, I believe Dev Skull's home now. I was wondering if he was going to be on... If he was going to be on... Oh, there's a truck coming. We roll the stop signs for a logical reason in a semi, alright? In a car, we're just doing it because we're lazy. In a semi, we're doing it because we don't want to downshift. There's a reason. There's a reason for my laziness, I promise. Super promise. I apparently have got, what do I got? I got full fuel. It's in the bottom right corner. I got full fuel. I don't need to sleep. I can probably run this all the way, but it's already... what time is it? It says I'm going to get there. Okay, it's 6 p.m., so I'm going to be running at night, and my screen went black again. Why does it hate me? Why does it hate me? I wonder. Get across this railroad track and I'll see if I can bring that back up. Okay. I don't think the game cares if I just sit here. Why, oh why, do you hate me so much? Pop out chat. Alright, I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna use the pop out instead. There we go. You almost finished the main story. Is the map open world or limited to the route you need to do? It's a scale. I don't know the right terminology for it, but it's a scaled down version of the map. I think if I go into the map, I can show you. So what they've done is they've scaled it down. It is a miniature version of West Coast. So it starts on the West Coast. When the game released, I think it was just Cali. And they've been releasing each of these states as a DLC. So obviously, these towns are smaller than what you're seeing, and the highways are much smaller than what you're seeing because no one wants to see you drive for, and no one wants to play a game where you drive for 10 hours, right? So it's all scaled down. So this town right here, I'm in a town, and I don't know if this is Steamboat or not, but it's a scaled down version. I am a truck driving chicken. Hey Kai, what's up? Watch me cut this cop car off. I know it's really hard to see, especially since I'm only streaming in 1080, but there's a cop car in the left lane, and I need that left lane to swing this low boy. He's just gonna follow me. This game likes to spawn coppers right near you. Here he comes, and he's in a... What's he in? I think he's in Kai's Mustard. State Trooper. See if I can make this without wrecking that car next to me. Yeah, we're good. We're good. We are good. Is that a pizza sign? What's that say? Italian pizza. Maybe we should stop for some pizza. Grab a whole pizza. Gnaw on it while we're driving down the road. Just like a big old disc. I'm going to ask them to not slice that bad boy. And we're just going to gnaw on it. So I was not in Steamboat Springs. We were 27 miles. What is going on? Of course. There's a train. Ugh. That's another thing I've never done either. I don't know what it's like overseas, but those double stack containers, that's intermodal. And there's when they get to the rail yard, there's this huge crane that'll reach down and grab one of those things, and it'll place it on a frame that a truck can hook up to. And those are called intermodal drivers. A lot of those guys run short hauls usually, because a lot of that stuff's coming from like overseas that I'm familiar with. A lot of that's coming from overseas, but they do that here on east to west. Sometimes the companies find it cheaper to ship it through rail than actually paying a guy to run 1,600 miles. Mayday? What's Mayday? Is that one of those... Is that one of those... I feel like I know this. Is that the Star Wars thing? Am I making that up? Am I making that up? I feel like people in Star Wars. I was never into it. Come on, Chuck. Go, 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 go. Oh, yeah, another thing I wanted to say, too. In this game, very hard to tell grade. So I can't tell very easily whether I'm going up or down. But I feel like engine power is not quite accurate. I know I'm pulling a harvester, but I'm within legal limits for DOT. Otherwise, I would be classed as an overweight load. And I'm really struggling to go. It looks like I'm uphill now, so I'm on a grade. But, man, the trucks IRL do not take this long to get up to speed, that's for sure. You can get up to speed much faster than this. I'm gonna race that train. Mr. Farmer, I know you said you were interested in the game. Depending on the realism you want to do, you can actually turn off this HUD that you see in front of me, the left and right mirrors. I keep them on because with the controller it's a little difficult to, as you saw with my crazy camera, a little difficult to pan around and look. So I keep those on rather than panning over to look in the mirror. But you can disable that and just look over in the mirror. You can also disable that little GPS thing down there. And there is a, well, not in this truck, but there used to be one. I don't know what May Day is, no. Labor Day is not for a while for us, so I'm not sure what you're talking about. Are you talking about celebrating May 1st? Is this a bus or is this a camper? Could be one of those fancy buses that hauls the rock stars around, you know? I'd say another interesting point to, or something that I wish was a little bit different about American Truck Simulator is they had more of the states. I know it takes them a while to make the states and release them, but as a Midwest East Coast driver, it's a little frustrating that they went to Cali. I can understand why they went to Cali. Because Cali's Cali makes more money than, I mean, it's basically its own country at this point. I've never heard of that guy, May 1st, but happy Labor Day to you. Our Labor Day is later. What time is it there for you? You said you're drinking coffee? Isn't it like 1 a.m.? No, you're 12 hours, right? 8 a.m. I can't remember if you're 12 or 13. I can't see the light. Oh, there it is on the side there. Yeah, it would be, I mean, 1-to-1 would be crazy. Can you imagine that, playing this on 1-to-1? A 1-to-1 scale. I mean, you can't even cross, it'd take you 10 hours to go north-south on Illinois. What would be interesting if it was like Farming Simulator 22 where they gave you the option. That would be interesting. Because like in Farming Simulator, we can alter the settings so that it is faster, right? And in this game, I cringe at the idea of doing it, but it might be kind of cool if they took the flight simulator approach and overlaid the Google Maps. Oh god, he's stopping. Overlay Google Maps. That might be kind of an interesting little theory to test. Because you would be able to drive around inside of the actual areas. I'm not sure if it would look nice. It might be kind of, it might look kind of like butt, honestly, because you just run it with Google Maps. But I know they've been updating that. Come on, light. Turn green. My very, very first driving trainer, one of the things he told me when I was coming up to lights, speaking of lights, something that was very strange, and it might sort of put into perspective what some of these drivers are like. I had mentioned that I was a little bit nervous about approaching stoplights being on yellow, the yellow to red transition specifically. And that when I'm coming up on the light and it swaps to yellow, being a new driver, I was unsure of how quickly the truck would stop while loaded and whether I needed to be worried about, running a red light. And what he told me to do, which is really weird, he said, just gas it when you approach the light. Just gas it. And which is insane. Absolutely insane when you think about it, because that would imply that the driver would come up to this light, stale green light that swapped to yellow, and his logic was that if it swapped to yellow, floor and try to get through the light. It's craziness. Mostly because I would trust that probably most of the time you'd be able to get, I don't remember what my flashers are. You're supposed to have your flashers on if you're below 45, but I don't know how to turn them on. Oop, not that button. I don't know how to turn my flashers on. How do you do it? I gotta look. Keys and buttons. It's not on my controller, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. Engine brake, trailer brake, retarder, differential lock, suspension, left turn, right turn, hazard. F. Why is it F? There we go. Flashers are on. Gotta have your flashers on when you're going below 45 on these inclines, so it don't slams into you. But yeah, back to the just gas it to get through the light, right? So you come up on a stoplight. It's a stale green light, meaning it was green when you got there. So you're not sure how long it was green, right? And it flips yellow when you approach. His logic was to just floor it to get through it. If it turns red, you know, generally speaking, you're fine. A cop's not going to pull you over unless you run a stale red, right? Like a real red. But the thing that gets what a lot of people like to do is like to sit in the intersection when they are making a left turn, right, to hold their turn. So for them, when the light turns yellow, they're going to pull. They're going to already be in the intersection. They're going to try to make their left-hand turn. As soon as the light flips red, they're going to sneak in. Now, they're going to assume that when that light flips red, you are going to stop. But according to this guy, what we want to do is instead floor it. So now if you come up to the situation, you got to wonder, is he going to see you and realize that you're not going to stop, or is he going to assume you're going to stop? So you run into this dilemma on whether or not you guys are going to slam into each other, right? And if you do slam into the guy, DOT is going to take you for all you're worth. The truck driver will always be at fault, especially when there's a light on there and the new driver says that, oh, my trainer said that I should just floor it through there. Anyhow, that story aside, I was trained by this guy, and then I went back to the company, and they were doing a final run with me, and I did that. I literally did that. I went through I come up on a light, stale green, it flipped yellow, and then went red, and when it was yellow and I was approaching it, I floored it, and I went through there. And that guy was like, dude, what are you doing? What are you doing? You just ran a red light, man. What are you doing? And I was like, wow, that's what the trainer said. He's like, why did he say that? That's insane. Why would you ever do that? Not sure what that noise is. I'm hearing a lot of noise. There we go. I'm not sure what my Jake brake is either. But that was crazy, man. And that guy, that truck driver, oh man, he was one of those nasty dudes too. I had to share a cab with this guy, right? Imagine this. Big guy, right? A lot of truck drivers are big guys. I thankfully am not, but this guy was a big guy. So imagine a big guy and then imagine a little bit bigger of a big guy. He was on the big side, right? Nothing so much wrong with that, but this guy, he's one of those guys that didn't always shower. So it was kind of, and I had to be in the cab with him. I had to share this cab. If you don't know, I can't spin the camera right now, but behind the driver, in a lot of these company trucks, they'll buy these trucks, these tractors. They'll buy them in a specific default formation. That default formation is double beds in the back. So it's like as a kid, you had like a bunk bed. It's like that. There's two beds back there. A lot of dudes will use the top one for storage. They'll net it down and use the bottom one for sleeping. But when you have a trainer and a driver, you use both. Or if you have team drivers, one will sleep in one, one sleep in the other. But yeah, so I had to sleep above this guy. Oh my god. Oh my lord. That guy was a nightmare. I remember when we got back to the company, they told me to give me this piece of paper and said, "Hey, fill this out. Let us know what you thought of the driver and whatnot." And I filled out that full front page and back page. I was writing on the back, and in the room, I was not the only one because I was among a handful of drivers that got brought into the company and were trained in batches. It's easier that way, and I was not the only one. So a lot of these trainers, man, they are just crazy, weird, nasty, and the reason these guys are trainers is, I feel like some of them are kind of cocky, maybe narcissistic, but for the most part, the company offers them a pay raise. They get a bonus, 10 cent a mile, 20 cent a mile to run these loads, 7 cent a mile to just be a trainer. And basically that comes down to just being a guy that sits in the other seat. You don't do anything. I mean, the trainer was there. He never drove. Not one time did that guy drive. I drove the whole time. And I backed all and every one of them. Ugh. I had nightmares. I was so mad after I was done training, and my thing went black. Well, now it came back. Interesting. Maybe another trainer told him? Yeah, maybe. That same trainer, sticking with stories about that trainer, while I was with him, one of the loads we had was to pick up from a company that was kind of going out of business. So there's like this little warehouse. But some of these companies, you'll roll into town, and this was in Wisconsin, Milwaukee area, one of the Milwaukee suburbs, and basically sharing with this company. They're in basically like a strip mall setup. There's a bunch of companies all in there, and each one of these companies has like one dock. But right next door to them, they were touching property lines with like a golf course and a bunch of very fancy condos. And in order to get into this place, the GPS, well, back then, which would be 12 years ago, 13 years ago, the GPS was not so good, not quite like what we have now. And it said to go into this condo area, this golf course area, which is very small roads. And I approached it and I looked at the train. I was like, "Hey, what's up with this, man? Are we gonna, I don't know if I can make this turn." And he looked at it and he said, "No, I think you can make it." I was like, all right. So I tried. And amidst me trying to make this turn, that as of now that I think back on it, now that I can think back on it with my current knowledge, there was no way in absolute hell would I have ever made that turn. I never would have even attempted it or ever even gone down that road with my current knowledge. So here I am, brand new driver, trying to make this turn with a trainer who is also the same guy that says to just floor it to get to get through the intersection. And this, before Karen was a thing, Karen came out. And she was just screaming and yelling at us, just red-faced screaming and yelling, telling us to back up. And my driver told me, "Hey," or my trainer said, "Hey, hop out, I'll do the turn, just so we don't, upset her any further," right? So I hop out, I get into the passenger seat, he hops into the driver's seat, he starts attempting to make this turn that, mind you, we absolutely will never ever make this turn. This lady is just pissed. She's just pissed that he is basically ignoring her and attempting to make this turn. So she gets in the middle of the road and walks right up to the grill of the tractor and just stands there so that he can't go anywhere. And now my trainer is out the window yelling at this lady who is yelling at him from the front of the tractor because she's standing there making him not move. So he hops out and makes me get back in the truck. I'm not sure why he made me get back to the driver's seat, but we did a straight back out of that road, down the road, did a 3-point back down another road, and then turned around. and went a different way, which was actually turned out to be the correct way to get into this company. uh, oh my lord, that lady, that lady was having a conniption, and she was right. She was absolutely right. This crazy lady, you know, call her what you want, call her crazy, call her Karen. She was right. There was trucks had no reason to be in there. Absolutely no reason. Oh, and that was my trainer. That was my trainer. When you come up across a lot of truck drivers out there and you question like, what? I've actually had this question about from when I tell people that I drive for a living. Sometimes people will say like, "Oh, I work in a warehouse," and I see these drivers come all the time. We've got 3 docks, and I would assume they're fairly easy to get into. But these drivers will show up and they'll have such a heck of a time trying to get into the dock. What's the deal with that? And that is how and why the trainers are not great. And to top it off, if these guys went to a CDL training school, so like you can go to a company. There's one in Sun Prairie, Wisconsin. There's another one in Rockford, Illinois. There's a couple around Milwaukee, but anyhow, you can go to these places, and sometimes they're like tech colleges. They'll train you to get your CDL. So you'll hand them like anywhere from like $5,000 to $10,000, and they'll train you to get your CDL. Now, what that doesn't entail is how to drive. Yes, believe it or not, they teach you how to get your CDL. So in order to get your Class A CDL, you got to pass these tests with an actual registered guy who does the testing and whatnot. Anyhow, that usually involves like pre-trip. I got to name the. I can name all the. You got to name all the parts on the engine. You got to be able to drain the air tanks, check the lights, yada yada yada. Basic pre-trip. And you also got to be able to do like straight back, angled back, 90 back, parallel back, and also. There's a small driving test, followed by a very confusing written test. Now, I'm assuming that all of you have taken a driver's license test. At least Kai, I don't know if you're still here, but in America, our DMV test to get your driver's license is very, very confusing. The question will be something stupid like, what's the max height that a trailer can go under the bridge? Or what's the max weight that a trailer can go under the bridge, right? And they'll give you the correct one, like 13.6 is the height of a trailer. So 13.6 is the max height that the trailer can go to the bridge. But it'll be like 13.6, or it'll be 13 foot, 136, 13.6, 136, 13.3, and like 13.7. And that's your answers. You have to pick the one that's right. And then the next question will be the same question worded differently in a different way. But anyhow, the $5,000, $10,000 you pay to this school, they teach you how to navigate those tests and how to pass those tests to get your Class A. They are not intending on teaching you how to drive. They teach you how to shift, and you will technically know how to drive, but you won't truly know how to navigate properly and really know what you're doing. That comes when you come to a company that hires you on. Generally, it's going to be one of those giant companies, unless you know like a farmer. Sometimes these guys will get hired on at farms. That's a whole different story there. They'll teach you how to drive. But if you get hired on these huge mammoth companies, like we're talking like Swift and Schneider and CR England, like these huge massive companies, right? You'll go into those companies and they will then take you as a new driver because they can afford the insurance premiums of hiring new drivers, hiring and firing over and over. So they can take the brunt. If you slam into a car, they can afford to pay out the cost for that. They will then hook you up with a trainer and a small class where they teach you how to back a little bit better, and they teach you how to actually drive and how to navigate like a company. When you get to a company, like what do you do when you get to a company? No idea. They told me how the height of a bridge and how much weight the bridge can have and how much weight I can have on each axle of my truck. They didn't tell me any of that crap. And that then that company will pay a premium to their, quote unquote veteran drivers, and they'll get a small bonus per mile or a bonus pay per month or pay per year that if they will train new drivers, right? And that trainer is the guy that I was with. So back to when people ask me when they find out, like, hey, you're a driver, what's it? I see these guys struggling. Well, that's why. When a new driver shows up, they can get their CDL. A new driver can pay the 10 grand, 5 grand to get a CDL, get with one of these big companies, be trained, and do all of that within 6 months, 7 months. You'll be on the road driving, making money, getting paychecks, and basically nothing. And specifically, the backing portion of it is not an easy thing to teach and not an easy thing to pick up without constant repetition. So one of the great oh gosh, he's stopping. I'm talking and not watching this guy in front of me. One of the great stories that I love to tell about people complaining about new drivers and how they don't know how to drive, they don't know how to back, right? When I got my Class A, when I got my CDL, I went to school, I passed the test, right? I went to this company, they trained me, told you about the trainer, but when I think I need to be over here. When I was at the school, and I went through all the process, right? I went through everything, and I was taking my driving test with this guy. I took my driving test, and he said you're a great driver, and he gave me a freebie. I hit a curb at one point in one of my turns because I was really nervous. I'm a nervous test taker, so I was even more nervous with this guy, right? But he gave me a pass. He didn't mark down that I hit a curb, because usually if you hit a curb, you can only do it like once or twice, and then you're kind of out. I think I need to make a turn up here. But it ends with a 90-degree back, and he's outside the truck watching you do this 90-degree. I gotta turn again. My God, I'm in all the wrong lanes. So he's outside the truck watching you do this 90-degree back. Now, this back has a couple rules to it. You start in between these cones, you pull forward, and then you pull left, and then you're in front of these other cones. You only get 2 mulligans. You only get like 2 pull forwards, right? So I failed my backing test, and it's kind of crazy. People find it hard to believe, but I got my CDL. I got my Class A CDL. I was legally allowed to drive a semi. Oh God, what have I done? There we go. Legally allowed to drive a semi down the road, fully loaded, yada yada yada. Failed my backing test. Failed it outright. I was just nervous, pulled forward once, and then I turned the same way and failed again, and then I just failed, And he wrote me off for it, but he said you're such a good driver that I think you'll be all right. But yeah, whenever anyone tells me like, hey, these new drivers, these companies, they don't teach you how to back. They don't teach you how to back. I know how to back now. I could back into any slot anywhere. Usually a hole in one, and I can blindside too, but that's usually the bonuses of having, right, like a day cab. But some of these veteran guys, there's a lot of like gatekeeping involved at these companies. You get to a company, and for a new driver, right? So picture this. This is the anxiety that a new driver goes with. You go to this company, you're out $5,000 to $10,000. And you're in debt immediately. This is assuming you didn't buy your own truck or lease onto your own truck, right? 5 to 10 grand out the gate just to get trained. Some guys will go and rent a truck to, train themselves. They'll drive a truck around. You can go and actually rent a truck from somewhere. I don't know why this is legal, but you can go and rent it and teach yourself to drive. And then you can go and take the test, and then that truck, you can use that truck to take the test with the driver, right? So a new driver, he's out the 5 grand, he's out the 10 grand, whatever it is he paid. He hires on to a new company. He passed the test. He's technically legally allowed to drive. even though he is not very good at what he does, doesn't technically know how to back, doesn't really know what he's doing, but he has a CDL in his wallet. So he goes to a company, right? I don't know if you've ever seen what some of these companies look like. Let's pick a big example. Let's say you go your first load with one of these large companies. They like to run loads, cheap loads. So we're talking Walmart. Let's say your first load is at a Walmart DC. So the first thing you do is you pull up on this mammoth building, this absolutely mammoth building. It has like 500 docks labeled, and there's another 1,000 trailers sitting in the yard. And you pull up to this building, there's a guard shack, and there's a tiny, tiny little sign that's usually about 1 foot by 1 foot, if that, with tiny lettering that says trucks turn this way. And then if you miss that tiny little sign, you have to end up in the employee parking lot. So you're already stressed out. So let's say in this example, you missed the sign because you were stressed out. So now you're in the employee parking lot doing a Yui, busting a Yui, trying to trying to find your way around. So you bust a Yui, get back in to the guard shack. Now the guard shack is about 40 trucks deep because it's a Walmart DC. There'll be 40 trucks out there. So you'll be sitting there for a good, let's say 30, 40 minutes before you even get into the building. Now you get up there. In order for these companies to pack this many docks and this many trailers into a small area, everything is tiny. So we're talking very small room. And the yard dogs, they will have these trailers parked so close together that you really have to be good at what you're doing. We're talking inches in between trailers. And as a new driver, inches is not a great thing to deal with, right? So you're a new driver, you've already missed your turn, you've already ended up in the employee parking lot, you're in debt, and now you spent 40 minutes waiting in line. You get to the guard shack. The guard he's super annoyed because he's dealt with drivers all day long, and drivers are the worst people to deal with, right? I'm sure you've seen them. They're awful. They're horrible. Truck drivers are the scum of the earth. And then you finally get into this place, right? Now, there's like 400 docks in this place, and there's another, 100 drivers just sitting there. They tell you, okay, go to dock 165. You get there. Now, if you're lucky, this dock is not a blindside dock. More than likely, it's a blindside dock because everything in America is designed backwards and they're not designed for drivers. But let's assume it's not a blindside, it's a regular back. So you pull up there. Now you've got a brand new driver, 10K in debt. He had a crappy driver, trained him, right? Like I did. He ended up in the employee parking lot, waited 30 minutes. He's finally here. He's finally ready to back. And you pull up to the spot and you've got two Peterbilts. One on the dock in front of you and one on the dock in the behind you, and you got to nail that hole in between these two Peterbilts. Now, one of the Peterbilts is an extended, so he's actually sticking out further than normal. So he's got the 53 foot and an extended frame rather, and you got to nail this dock. Now, on top of that, you've also got 40 something plus drivers just sitting in the docks, and you got another 30 waiting somewhere else, just waiting, right? And all these drivers are watching you. They're now watching this. They're watching this new driver, come in and attempt to make this back. So now you've got this driver who's brand new, he's anxious, he's in debt, yada, 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 all that stuff, right? And you've got all these, oh gosh, don't hit the lady. Oh, jeez. No one saw that. So you get this driver. He's trying to park in between these Peterbilts, right? And I am not speaking from... I'm definitely speaking from experience. I've been in a situation very similar to this. You are in this situation. You're anxious. You've got to land this dock. And the worst thing is that there's, 40-something drivers watching this new driver back. And it's like this gatekeeping thing with these veteran drivers. They will actually get out of the truck, and they'll like point and laugh at these drivers who are attempting to back into these docks. It's a terrible, awful, horrible experience. And this is just like one of the small things that some of the new drivers will deal with. I don't know why it's not letting me sleep. I'm trying to get into a slot here and sleep. It says I can sleep at this dealership. Come on. I just want to sleep for the night, please. Oh gosh. Hello. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Don't ever park like I'm about to park. Only jerks park like this, right? There we go. But yeah, now you got to get this driver in between these Peterbilts, and he's stressed out. He can't make it. There's no way he's making this, right? So what do you do if you can't make the back? You got to hunt down a yard dog and have him back it in for you. And the whole thing is stressful. I'm not sure why the game is suddenly playing very loud. Oh gosh. Very loud music. I'm stuck on the fence. I'm stuck on the fence. Oh geez. Alright, the harvester's gonna have a few dents. Harvester's gonna have a few scratches along the side of it. What am I stuck on? I think it's the I'm about to be late music. Oh, I'm getting anxiety just thinking about that story, man. I can't imagine the amount of time. So, I'm familiar with East Coast driving. I did a lot of loads in and out of specifically New York. And one of the fun things about the East Coast is that everything is designed with old trucks in mind. So we're talking cab overs. So that's like that flat, old school semi. Basically think of a European semi. And then 48s instead of 53s. So none of the stalls are big enough. None of the companies are big enough for these these dang trucks to get in there. Ugh. I'm getting, man, I can feel it. I'm getting stressed just even thinking about this. Am I gonna be late? Is that what's going on here? I think I'm gonna be late. Late to my first and only load I've done. When I first started driving, I was actually so terrified of backing that I wouldn't back. I would specifically only park at pull-through slots, so generally rest areas, and eat out of vending machines. It's a terrible way to live. But it was awful. I remember trying to park at a truck stop, and these people were actually, I could see them pointing and laughing from the cab. And it's such a terrible, awful, horrible experience to deal with. And that's just kind of the thing some of the new drivers, there's an extreme amount of gatekeeping in the industry that really shouldn't be there, right? Like, come on. You're driving a dang semi-truck. This is still here. So the reason I parked for the night is because there's an accident here, and I can't get around this accident. So one of the interesting things about this, so if I got to get around this accident, what I got to do is I have to exit, right? Go straight. And I got to get over here and turn around to come back because this accident's here. I parked for the night because I was hoping this would be gone. Sometimes, all right, listen. Sometimes you could sneak through here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Listen. Listen, it's fine. It's fine. I can fit. It's gonna fit. I promise. Ah! Oh, yeah. Who needs to turn around? We don't need to turn around. I'm late. We gotta get there, man. They need their machine. Woo! It's legal because the game never programmed in what to do if the driver ignores the closed road. Listen, it's totally not legal. Don't do that. That is the kind of stuff you can learn from the driving instructors at the wonderful companies of Swift and Schneider, CR England, you know. You too can be a truck driver and drive just like that. Come on, truck. Come on. Go, 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 go. We can pass this guy. Come on. Come on. We're late. We're late. I spent so much time jibber jabbering that I wasn't paying attention to how late I was. Go, 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 go. Oh, hey, there's a sign up there. 555 divorce. Discount lawyer. Ooh, $100 down. You get a divorce. Out of my way. Coming through. Coming through. Come on. I need this turn. Slow down. There it is. I see it. I see it up there. We're going to make it. Come on. How fast can I hit this off-ramp? 70 miles an hour. Oh, geez. Oh, gosh. Oh, geez. All right. Let's assume no one's coming. No one's coming. We lucked out. Okay. I see no one, so no one saw that. Is this my company? No, next one, next one. We're going to HMS. Swing wide here. Let me in. Let me in. Where is this? Oh, jeez. Oh, gosh. This is kind of the reason I enjoyed American Truck Simulator over European Truck Simulator, because a lot of the stuff they send you to in this game is tight, and this is exactly what I experience in real life. None of these companies are set up for you. I'm never going to make that turn. I'll try it, but I don't think I'm going to make it. Far right, far right. Oh my gosh, far right. We're just hitting a couple of things. All right, listen, this thing is delivered with a little bit of scratches on it. Some scratches. Just gas it. Just get her in there. Just hit it. There we go. Got it. Deliver. Woo! Late. I was still late. It's because I took that nap. Because I took that nap, man. They took $3,000 because I was late. You believe these people? $3,000. What? What in the world? I cannot believe they would take $3,000 from me. All right, let's get a like a route length short. I want short. Nope, that's the wrong way. We want the other direction. There we go. Short. What do we got? We got a backhoe. Got a Caterpillar. That would be fun to haul. We got some boom lifts. Got another, the harvester that we just brought here, we could now take down to Arizona. Not sure about that. Oh my goodness. Actually, let's swap trailers. Let's see what's here. Look at this. Can I take this? I want to take this. Look at this thing. So this is not my trailer. This load will be worth less, but I can take something cool. Because you blah 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 blah. Yeah. Yes, I do. You're about to set for a heavy haul job. I'm good. Okay. So this is a I've also never hauled one of these. This is a tandem. Let's get out. Let's get a nice look at this thing. Look at this thing. This is what we're gonna haul. How cool is that? How cool is that? That's what we're gonna pull. Do you need the DLCs? No, you do not. Like Zomboid, a lot of the good from Farming Simulator is actually from the mods. There's a huge, massive modding community. And I would argue that most of the maps that are good are modded maps. Okay, there we go. Okay. Look at this thing. Look at this. How cool is that? Am I gonna be able to get out? I don't think so. I might need to spin back around. Let's get first person. I want to stay in first person. Wait, is it coupled in the back? It is coupled in the back. Look, there's a pivot point back there. You see that? There's another pivot point in the back. Cool. Cool. Sometimes these larger trailers are actually easier to turn because there's multiple pivot points. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm hoping for. Okay, so I can't see anything. So we're gonna just slowly come out. This is a very weird thing coming out of a company like this. Any company I've ever come out of where you can't see or you can't make it, generally speaking, the guy on the dock, like, they'll send a guy out there or a couple guys and they'll stop traffic for you. I've never experienced this where, like, you just sort of just pull out. Actually, in New York, that's true. I did experience that. That's a lie. I have experienced it. So let's see how wide this thing turns. Oh, lordy lord. We got multiple pivot points on this thing, so we're saving. We're heavy though. We are heavy. Now, Farm Sim's real fun, man. So the DLCs in Farm Sim 22, one of the things they did is some of the DLCs unlock content. I'm sorry, not content, mechanics. Like, I can't remember them all, but there's one. The only one that comes to mind is pumps and hoses. So if you were running like, let's say you were running like a cow farm, and you were trying to spread slurry, liquid slurry, which is like a fertilizer. Oops. Oh gosh, I'm pressing all the wrong buttons. I just want to turn my blinker off. There we go. You do it by proxy and not by hose. That DLC gives you the ability to do it by hose. You can actually hook up the hoses and it's a little bit more realistic. But you will get the gist of the game by simply playing it without the DLCs. And I believe you can purchase the game, and I think if you buy one of the premium packs, it might actually give you a bunch of stuff, except for that one. But for the most part, dude, you can play the game with just mods. There are so many mods. You can get classic tractors. You can get whatever you want. You can get a Mustang in that game if you want. This is heavy. I'm going 45, still flooring it. I actually don't think my tractor is it rated for overweight? Yeah, I'm a sucker for simulators, man. I have a lot of time in Farm Sim, 17, 19. Recently, we played it a lot. I played with DevSkull and Fox on a server. We played multiplayer. super fun. I have a embarrassing amount of time in Farming Simulator. Far less time in this game. I would argue that this game is not as rewarding as Farming Simulator, because in Farm Sim you can kind of work your way up, but in this game you kind of get everything pretty fast, you know. I would argue it's a little bit like the Zomboid progression system. Zomboid doesn't have a great progression system, right? Once you get the stuff, you got it. That's it. That's what this game is. This truck is nearly fully upgraded, and that's it. About all you get after that is some like chrome and stuff. Have you been playing Helldivers? I have not been on it since the Fallout show released. Me and Ellie watched the show, and then I wanted to play 76, so we both have been playing 76. Basically, that's it. I've been playing a lot of Fallout 76, and I have not been back into Helldivers. I noticed that there was a big update today. I think my gun of choice, the Eruptor, got some changes, needed changes. Oh, and a curious thing about Helldivers, I was reading the patch notes. Apparently the game was bugged for solo players. There were not enough spawns, patrol spawns. They were getting a sixth of a full group rather than a fourth of a full group. That's crazy. Because there were certain games when I played by myself where there were patrols everywhere. I mean, everywhere. And I'm just trying to picture playing by myself with more patrols. Oh my god. Even more patrols. I can't imagine. Yeah, imagine the pain now. Yeah, exactly. Update 42. Yeah, I mean, we're all excited for it, right? It's taken forever to come out. It's taken forever to come out. I love Zomboid. I love it a lot because it's a survival game, and I love survival games. And recording for Zomboid versus recording for other games, it's very fun for me. But man, they gotta up their game on these updates. This stuff is just taking too long. It's just taking too long. It's been over a year for an update, I think, right? Or something. It's crazy. And then we're gonna lose content when the update comes out. That's the insane part about the state of Project Zomboid. When Build 42 releases, we're going to lose so much content. So much content because every mod is going to break, and all of Zomboid's content comes directly from us, the players, the mods. Like, yeah, we're gonna get some stuff. We're gonna get some cool stuff, like the crafting system revamp, the extra stuff, and all that. But man, you can already do some of that with mods, and we're gonna lose everything else just to be able to do this. They gotta up it. I mean, even 7 Days to Die is releasing what they just dropped. They just dropped the big. I think they just dropped 21 on the console, maybe. And they're talking about Build 2022 because they're on what? They're on 21 right now. They're talking about Build 22. They're pushing out updates faster, and all these games are pushing out updates so much faster than Zomboid ever did. And I love Zomboid, I really do. But something needs to change with their cycle here, because it's just a little bit too much. And the only thing I can think of is that their excuse is they want to release fewer big patches because they don't want the mods to break as often, which commendable. But it takes so long for these mods to come out. takes so long. It takes so long for these patches to come out that people think the mods are incompetent. Not mods, devs. The patches take so long to come out that people think the devs are like less of a dev because it takes them so long to do something. And that to me is just not fair. Also, I want Zomboid to be popular more than it is, and it's never going to be if they can't get more patches out, because people just don't care. Zomboid struggles with the mid game and the late game. The early game Zomboid struggle is pretty good. You know, when you make a new character, the early game is fantastic. Everything else is not fantastic. Once you've gone and collected your stuff, man, it's done. You don't need to do anything. You have to create for yourself what to do, which is good. I don't mind doing that. You know, I did that. You do that in games like Ark, but Ark at least has more of an early and mid game than Zomboid does. Zomboid has nothing. There's nothing there. You know, once you wall off your base and you can fish, that's it. You're done. You don't need anything else. What's this look like if I look at this thing? Whoops. Look how big this thing is. Holy crap. Oh god. We're swerving. Yeah, I would agree. I wonder why it takes so long too. And just to put a little asterisk there, I love. This is where I'm going to show my ignorance, right? When it comes to modding, when it comes to developing a game, and when it comes to networking specifically, I know nothing, absolutely nothing. But here's what I do know: Project Zomboid multiplayer is in a sorry state. It is hard to connect to other players. It's laggy. There's a lot of desync. There's issues that are only resolved via modding. It's rough to play with other people on a server. And it can be hard to even like connect to or make a server. When you compare that to, you know, all these other games, it's just plug and play. You know, why can't we do that in Zomboid? Why can't we be plug and play, you know? Why does everything have to be so hard to do? No, I agree with you. The next update, I think, is supposedly supposed to fix. You know, it's supposed to fix those issues, right? That's one of the big things they've claimed, is that they're going to fix a lot of that stuff, which is fantastic. But I just, as my experience, you know, we play on a server, and it's so frustrating to play on our Project Zomboid server and have so many issues crop up, and then we play 7 Days to Die one night, and it's literally plug and play. Connect to the server, 0 issues, none. And it's just frustrating, you know? Look at this truck stop. So this is a truck stop that is mimicking a Pilot or a Flying J. They got the same colors, I believe. So we've got autos and RVs. We've got trucks up here. Some fuel. Well, fuel in record time. Let's see, got 1 gallon, 2 gallon, 10, 14. This is like Sonic. This is like NASCAR feeling, right? Yeah, I did. It's so laggy driving with other people. It can. It is so disheartening too. And especially when like the map is so big, and like we are installing map mods that make make it even bigger at the moment, and in order to do anything you got to travel, and to travel with other people, because it's multiplayer, you want to travel with other people, but it's so frustrating. And then go and try to fight a group of zombies with other players. The zombies that you are fighting are not in the position that they are seeing. And you'll see someone next to you swing and kill a zombie that, kills the one next to you. And everything's all wonky and weird. So we currently weigh 104,211 pounds. If you're curious on the exact weight, DOT standard limits are 80,000. So we are 24,000 pounds over. We are legally allowed to do this, though, with permits. One of my deliveries that I did as a driver that I look back on fondly now, but was very stressful in the time of doing this delivery, was in New York. The company I was working for pays you an extra $150 to $200 on top of the load if you will deliver it into the burbs. So I delivered a load of oil barrels to this company. I'm sorry, I was picking up a load out of there. So I delivered a load of oil and got the extra money for that in the Bronx, I believe. And then I was to pick up a load of candles from this company in New York. And it was, imagine New York City, all those big buildings, right? Now imagine one of them having a gate and a bunch of truck docks behind it. That's what it was. But I didn't know where to go. You get into New York proper, there's a lot of like one-way roads and alleys and stuff, and I didn't know where I was going. So I was panicking because I was a little bit of a new driver still, and I saw a dollar sign, so I took it. I decided to stop and call the company, ask for directions, and look at my GPS. So there's nowhere to park in New York. There's nowhere to park if you're in a car. There's nowhere to park if you're in a semi. So I saw a slot. It was a bus stop, which you're not allowed to park there. So I decided, F it, I'm parked there. So I parked there, got on my phone, and here I am. I'm on the phone with the guy at this candle company, and he's telling me, the best way to get to where he is and what roads to avoid. When I turn to the left, look out the window, I'm parked in a bus stop that has signs everywhere that says no parking, absolutely no parking, across the street from a police station. And there's police cruisers. There's these two cops coming out, and they looked at me, and then they just got in the car and drove away. I could not believe that I didn't get in trouble for that. Could not believe that I didn't get in trouble for that. And I went down to this company. I followed the directions around. I finally get there, right? I finally get there. Stay on my way, please. Thank you. All right. Finally get to this company, and I have to back down this road to get into this little alley gate thing they have, and then load up with the candles. I have to cross the sidewalk to do it, so I'm backing up. This car does not want to wait on me, so in true New Yorker fashion, this dude is up on the sidewalk, driving along, trying to get around me before I start my back, and he's laying on his horn. I mean, just laying on it, right? Because there's a guy walking on the sidewalk, and the guy in the sidewalk's flipping him off and going even slower because he's trying to drive around this guy, or he's trying to drive around the guy who's on the sidewalk where he's supposed to be. The car's on the sidewalk, but the car's trying to get around me. And I remember it so fondly, this strange and crazy situation. That company, I want to say it was Jewish. I want to say it was a Jewish candle company, because New York has these. They're like split up in these different areas. Where certain areas, like you have the Jewish people here and so on and so forth. But that guy was the only guy in the company. He stayed late just for me because I was late. I was super late. They were past their closing time. He stayed late for me, loaded up the candles. It was great. Other than, being in New York. And that same time, I actually went into New York City proper as well. Missed my turn. Had a lot of people looking at me weirdly. Like, what are you doing here? That was embarrassing. That was super embarrassing. Oh my God. Did I? You'll like it. I mean, I hope you like simulator games. If you don't like simulator games, I don't know if I'd suggest it. But I have multiple hundreds of hours on Farming Simulator 22. And I played with Dev and Fox, and it was super fun. What I love to do with Farming Simulator is because a lot of the jobs can be long. So the first thing you need to do is go into the mod section after you bought it. In the mods, find yourself a GPS. The game does not have a GPS by default, but there are mods that'll give it to you. That way you can drive in straight lines and you don't have to be actively controlling the tractor. And then get a second screen, load up Netflix, watch whatever heck you want to watch. If you want to go a step further, DevSkull bought a steering wheel setup and I can't remember the exact one he bought. It was steering wheel and it was like a joystick on the side with a bunch of extra buttons. He said it was game changing. It was absolutely game changing. It was the most. Make this turn. Oh my gosh! Look at this! Look at this freaking turn! Oh my lord! Oh my god! Oh, we're gonna make it. Okay. Yeah, he said it was game changing. Realism went way up. He said it felt so cool to drive in first person with a steering wheel. I have a thing for reason. Yeah. Especially RP. Me too, man. Me too. I love having my own sort of story within these worlds. And when I'm just playing by myself and trying to build up the farm and whatnot. I've got so many hours. If you got any questions of the game, hit me up. I know quite a bit about the game. I would suggest absolutely do not play with a keyboard. At bare minimum, use a controller. Not all of the keybinds fit on the controller because it is, after all, a simulator game. How am I supposed to make this turn? Am I supposed to run? Am I supposed to go over the curb? Hop the curb? Holy crap. Alright. We made it. Yeah, I like to use controller and keyboard in tandem. For the problem with a game like Farming Simulator and keyboard is when you push W to go forward, it's like 100% accelerator. And with the controller, you have control over your acceleration. A little bit slower, a little bit faster, slower turns, etc. My favorite thing to do in the game is cows. I love doing cows. You said you played Farming Simulator 17. Yeah, 17. I was looking at your older messages. Farming Simulator 17. I'm trying to think of things that changed from 17 to 22. A lot. There's a lot more mechanics. One of the big changes, the big this is the thing, this is what's cool about Farming Simulator 22 when they released it, was factories. So in Farming Simulator 19, modders started doing this thing where you could download this map, and then on the map there were these points you could purchase, and instead of selling milk from cows direct, you could instead take the milk to be processed at, oh god, there's a cop right there. Take the milk to be processed at a factory to turn it into cheese, which you then could sell for a higher profit. Farming Simulator 22 took that and ran with it. So in this game, there's production points, factory points you can buy, or just build anywhere. So you can take your, for example, your milk and turn it into cheese or butter. Or if you're doing sugarcane, You can then take that to a factory to process into sugar, take your sugar and your milk over to a dairy and make chocolate. Or any number of other. There's tons of stuff you can make. You can make furniture, you can make clothing. There's tons of stuff, but the factory stuff isn't there. And because it's a simulator game, you can flip the script. You don't have to play on hard. You don't have to play on normal. You can play on easy. You can change it however you want. You can turn off weeds and all this stuff. You don't even have to do any of the factory stuff. If you live in, I don't know, like I do, the Midwest, if you want to run like a multi-hectare plot of land and just do soybeans or corn, you can do that. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. There's stuff in the game that is worth significantly more money than others and is quote-unquote easier to do. But if you want to just run a big farm and just do corn or soybeans, you can absolutely do that and the game will help you with that. If you want to run animals, you can do animals. Yeah, you'll get addicted. I was pretty addicted. Especially if you have a second screen and you can watch something while you're doing it. That was what got me. Because I could just chill, watch TV while going up and down my lines. It was wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Love that game. Love it so much. Actually, Farming Simulator was the very first game that I attempted to do YouTube with. Those videos are still here. They were time-lapse videos. There's one of the YouTubers that I really liked to watch. He was very open about talking about how to edit and record videos, and so that's where I started my journey. Turn. Oh God, I'm going 50 and a 20. Making a turn up here somewhere. Here. You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking I'm going to take both lanes. I'm going to take this left lane and I'm going to take this right lane to make this turn. Because in real life, I can have a car back up if I can't make the turn and he's caught in the left turn. But in the game, the vehicles will not... I'm not going to be able to. It's a arrow only. Crap. Well, no cars here, so all's fine, but we'll see how much of this road I take by making this turn. Yeah, I'm all over that turn lane. Ooh, if there's a car there, I'd have slammed into it. Yuma and Akron. I know nothing about the West Coast. Never been there. I've been to every state east of the Mississippi, but I know nothing about West Coast. I've never been there even like on vacation or something, like flying. I've never. Everything I've ever done has been East Coast. I've flown to Florida and Texas, but never anywhere else. Delivery is up here on the right. Sometimes delivering at night is some of the worst things you can do because you can't see crap, you can't see signage. They'll post these signs saying no trucks or trucks here. It'll be a little 1 foot by 1 foot sign that you can barely see. It's about 20 feet off in the yard. Oh yeah, this is a tight turn. We're delivering to a farm, Bushnell Farms. Look, cows. Cows everywhere. Dairy farm. Oh, factory dairy farms are scary. Don't like it. So these guys are probably running a very large silage operation. I've always thought it'd be kind of cool if these games sort of participated together a little bit and let you, you know, farming simulator could make the product, and some of the American Truck Simulator could somehow come and pick it up. I always thought that'd be cool. Use your tractor, sirs. Woo! Oh, look at us. We leveled up to 19. 7 hours to drive 343 miles. 83 gallons of fuel used. Let's run hazmat. What's this company got? This company is running a frozen foods. Oh, animals. You can run animals. Never done that. But this might be, new upgrades available. This might be where I am stopping for the night. 18 new items available. Look at this. We got Thermo King. 4-axle steer. Is this new trailers? Trailer upgrades. Oh, yeah. Drop axles. Allison transmission. Chassis medium. Not too bad. Not too bad. Well, hey, I hope you enjoy Farming Simulator, Farmer. You can live up to your Mr. Farmer name, getting into Farming Sim. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening to me ramble. It's been a great deal of fun.